Think about the history of American towns. You know the stories of gold rush boom towns, colonial villages, and suburban paradises. But there is a massive, intentional blank space on your map. Between the end of the Civil War and the early 20th century, Black Americans didn't just look for freedom, they built it from scratch. They built independent, self-governing, fully prosperous towns. We aren't talking about small neighborhoods, we are talking about cities with their own banks, schools, police forces, and mayors. Many of these places were systematically erased, flooded by government projects, or hidden by history. Today, we are putting them back on the map. Here are 14 forgotten Black towns in America you've probably never heard of. Let's get into it. Number 1, Boley, Oklahoma, founded in 1903. This wasn't just a town, it was a flex. Boley was one of the largest and wealthiest all-Black towns in the West. It had its own electricity plant, a water system, 3 cotton gins, and a bank so secure that when the notorious Pretty Boy Floyd gang tried to rob it in 1932, the townspeople literally fought them off themselves. Boley proved to the entire nation exactly what Black self-sufficiency looked like. Number 2, Eatonville, Florida. Incorporated in 1887, this is one of the first self-governing all-Black municipalities in the United States. If the name sounds familiar, it's because it was the home of legendary Harlem Renaissance writer Zora Neale Hurston. She used Eatonville as the backdrop for her famous novel, Their Eyes Were Watching God. It wasn't just a safe haven, it was a cultural incubator. Number 3 takes us west, Allensworth, California. Founded in 1908 by Colonel Allen Allensworth, a man who escaped slavery and became the highest-ranking Black officer in the U.S. Army at the time. He bought land in the San Joaquin Valley to build a town completely free of discrimination. It thrived with its own school district and library until the local water table was mysteriously contaminated and the railway redirected its tracks to bypass the town, a deliberate takedown of a beautiful dream. Number 4, Brooklyn, Illinois, also known as Lovejoy. Established in 1829 before the Civil War. Situated right across the Mississippi River from the slave state of Missouri, Brooklyn became a legendary sanctuary town for freedom seekers. Its motto was America's first Black town. It operated as a crucial node on the Underground Railroad, risking everything to protect human lives. Number 5, Mound Bayou, Mississippi. Founded in 1887 by former enslaved people. This town was so successful it caught the attention of President Theodore Roosevelt, who literally called it the Jewel of the Delta. Mound Bayou had a top-tier hospital, its own newspaper, and a massive cotton oil mill. Even during the height of Jim Crow, white authorities largely left it alone because its economic power was simply undeniable. Number 6, Nicodemus, Kansas. Founded in 1877 by exodusters, Black Americans fleeing the post-war South for the Great Plains. The early settlers literally lived in dugouts in the ground to survive the harsh winters, but they pushed through, building a vibrant agricultural hub. Today, it's the only remaining all-Black town west of the Mississippi from that era, preserved as a National Historic Site. Number 7, Langston, Oklahoma. Founded in 1890 by Charles Robbins, an entrepreneur who wanted to create a safe space for Black political power. To make sure the town survived long-term, the citizens fought heavily to establish Langston University. The town literally built a fortress of higher education in the middle of Oklahoma, producing some of the sharpest minds in the country. Number 8, the Black communities of Virginia's Tidewater area, like parts of Old Deep Creek. Following the Civil War, these coastal enclaves became completely self-sufficient through the maritime industry. Black captains, oystermen, and shipbuilders took over the local economy, buying land and building communities that operated entirely on water-based commerce. Number 9, Glenarden, Maryland. Starting as a small group of homes in the 1920s, it officially became a town in 1939. Glenarden is crucial because it served as a modern blueprint for suburban Black political organization. The townspeople organized their own civic leagues, built their own infrastructure, and paved their own roads when the surrounding county refused to help them. Number 10, Clearview, Oklahoma. Oklahoma actually had over 50 all-black towns, but Clearview was special. Founded in 1903 along the railroad line, it became famous for its entertainment and sports culture. Clearview hosted a legendary semi-pro baseball team that drew thousands of spectators from all over the Midwest. It was proof that these towns weren't just about survival, they were about joy, culture, and community. Number 11, Robbins, Illinois. Incorporated in 1910 just outside Chicago. Robbins became a massive hub for black aviation in the 1930s. Because segregation banned black pilots from white airports, the citizens of Robbins built the Robbins Airport, the very first regulated airport owned and operated by black Americans. It paved the way for the famous Tuskegee Airmen. Number 12, the refugee settlements around Sandusky, Ohio. While not a single incorporated city, these were tightly knit, independent black farming communities built right on the edge of Lake Erie before the Civil War. They were highly strategic. If slave catchers came looking for them, they were close enough to the water to instantly catch a boat to freedom in Canada. They were master survivalists living on the edge of the border. Number 13, Parmel, North Carolina. In the late 1800s, this town became a critical railroad junction. Black workers took over the local lumber mills and train yards, building a highly successful, self-sustaining economy. It was a bustling, loud, industrial town where black Americans controlled the literal moving parts of Southern commerce. And finally, number 14, Oscarville, Georgia. This is perhaps the most tragic on our list. Oscarville was a thriving black community in Forsyth County, Georgia. In 1912, following a wave of racial violence, the entire black population was forced to flee under threat of death. Decades later, the government built a dam, filling the valley with water. Today, the remains of Oscarville sit completely submerged at the bottom of Lake Lanier. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and let me know in the comments which of these towns blew your mind the most.